Alright, so in this one, we are going to be reacting to Goresh's ranking the top 10 best characters in the game 2024 edition, part 2, with it being the probable last, top 10 list that everyone's going to be created, coming out, within a couple of days here, or already have come out. My own list already dropped as well. I actually have seen zero of this. I saw the list earlier, but it's been about 12 hours since, so I remember nothing, and I'm actually very curious what is going to go on here. So, I always know this, just to preface, that the 10 through usually 8, but even up to 7 sometimes, spots are all subjective. It's all from your experience much more than it is an objective basis. The more top tiers become more objective and more realistic to everyone's going to agree. I just know, I'm not even prefacing because I think it's bad or great or whatever, that 10 through 7 is mostly subjective. So, with that being said, let us get into it here. Click on number 10 and see what Goresh has, and hear said reasonings. If I agree, we're going to move on because there's nothing to hear. I already agree, it's nothing there. But if I disagree or don't understand, then I'd like to understand, so we will listen. Let us see.
To number 1. Starting at number 10, we are going to have LF Tree of Might Goku. This character is...
So personally, this is one of those characters that I could think in my mind as yeah, he could be Sword of Hope, Tamagami, Triku, kind of one of those. Omega, that's yeah, they can make their way to a 8 through 10 mold. I wouldn't say he does. Personally, for me, he does not. But I can understand it. This is what he's going to probably say, or at least point out, that he's just the worst yellow of another yellow, or two other yellows of MV and Beast, but he still is competent in his own merit. And he got buffed because of Beast.
Pretty damn good. Fits well on a movies team, fits well on Sun Family. We now have two very strong red characters that are pretty rampant in PvP right now. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Diamond
I don't
Goku.
run into them that often, to be fair, but
this guy can get stomped by those
not as
two
often as
characters,
Beast,
but
obviously.
I feel like he has some pretty well-aging defensive capabilities with the type neutral. Defensively, when he switches in, he's got the healing, he's got the card destruction, he's got the support, he's got the long combos with the green card.
If I'm not mistaken, Beast is immune to that card destruction, isn't he? I'm just putting it out there. I'm pretty sure he is. I think a few units are. I think Beast is one of them. I'm pretty sure he's immune to card destruction, every entry. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure he is.
Hand refill, the long range priority gaining green card effect as well.
Long animation,
pretty well with Turles still. And I feel like you could actually put this guy on the same team as Beast Gohan and just run Beast Gohan on the Turles Tree of Might Goku.
That's the best movie team. That's pure movies.
I feel like he has an okay matchup versus Beast. Obviously, this guy can get sniped by the special beam cannon, but I mean,
everyone can.
We'll probably not harp on that too much because every character in the game, especially characters that don't have comebacks or indestructible, just all die the same. They're all the same. They all die.
Special beam cannon, by the way, he's obviously touch on it. We'll go over it when he gets to Beast, which is probably gonna be number 1 or 2. Yeah, I would just say that that's essentially a lock-in, because if it's doing mid combo, let's say you do a strike and special beam cannon, you can't swap out. You drop combo, sure, but you do that shit mid combo, it's probably gonna guarantee a kill. Especially Beast strike cards. You do 2 strikes into that, you have cup pen stacked, you have all this shit built up. It's probably killing 99% of the game. And if they have a mechanic of safety, their value at least is higher than it could be. I wouldn't be surprised if Omega Shenron's here, because he is pointing out that if you don't have one of those mechanics, well, your value is lesser. Well, Omega Shenron does have one of those mechanics, so his value could be argued higher. I'm sure he's going to make this list.
Just the same to the special beam cannon, right? So I don't think that's really a main point I'm going to be looking at with this Goku and be like, oh, well, he dies to the special beam cannon, so he's not really that good. No, that's not true. I feel like he could actually have a pretty favorable matchup potentially against
Beast. Purples is my issue with this guy.
The fact that he has the really potent HP restoration debuffs means that Beast is not going to be able to heal up nearly as much when he hits that 50% HP threshold to activate his Disrupt.
Yeah.
But this Goku surely is going to be susceptible to the arts cost.
The thing is with that, people, you can. I don't think it's a bad idea, but people usually just aren't combo extending with Triku. If I ever fight Triku, he's just kind of coming in, and attempting to like disrupt me with his gauge, and people like almost never, in my experience, obviously it's all experience based in these tiers, that's every tier list ever, but never really use this guy in an offensive manner. Like they try to, but then why not just go to Beast if you have Triku, Beast, Turles every time Triku's out? There's just a superior to that inferior. Again, he is on the lower end list, but the health starting you off is kind of a moot point because you'd always combo with the better comboing character, the better damaging character, and that is always Beast. And you'll have your sub counts usually down because of this guy's gauge, and even Beast's gauge that gets him back in faster, or rather not gauge, his unique ability gets him in faster 2 times every time. So yeah, health starting can help, but like you would never combo with this guy as much as you combo with, let's say, Beast Gohan. So yes, but no.
Debuff, which is something that we'll talk about a lot in this video. Beast Gohan, one of Beast Gohan's most potent and I guess damaging, game-changing defensive abilities is his arts cost stacking debuff.
Vegito goes down so much for that.
And it's not just
saying.
Enemies to all enemies whenever he gets hit. It's plus 10 to cost for a few counts, and it stacks.
Yep.
So
very, very strong.
For characters like this Goku,
all enemies is crazy.
Really, kind of thrive off of these longer combos. Could pose an issue for sure,
dude.
But I don't.
It's an issue to every unit in the game besides two.
Affected negatively to the point where he needs.
And
to
we'll talk on them when they get there.
I feel like he still fits on here. I would say a lot of these lower spots in the list are probably going to be a little bit more flexible than they typically are. 10, 9, 8, 7, somewhere in there. This guy is probably going to fit.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to put him at number 10, Treat My Goku. Pretty good character still. But
like I said, I don't agree, but I understand where he's coming from. Again, these lower tiers, it's just, it's more subjective than objective from your experiences. So if you feel he's better than, or he's doing better than, let's say, Tamagami right now, or Sword of Hope, or, Shin, or whatever, sure. I don't agree. Sure. But when we get to higher tiers, disagreements and agreements would be much more, I feel, easy to point out, like, this, why, this, that, and the other. This right now, he just probably fights better Triku users than he fights other stuff, and it's like, okay, cool. Number 9, let's move on and see what's there.
Let's move on to number 9. Number 9 is going to be LF
Omega. Okay, so personally, I haven't taken off again. I can understand the premise of having Omega or Triku. Those actually were the last two that were, on most people's tier list in part 2, part 1. They were, holding on by a thread there in this kind of same placement area, this 7 through 10. And Omega, again, I understand what he's going to go through with the value of not being able to get beast sniped, essentially, because he has indestructible, so he would just live through that said combo. Though, you could do kind of an old time thing to Omega, where it's like, you pop his first life with normal cards, you drop combo it, then you do it, and most people are going to have Omega and 2 damage dealers, and Omega is going to be the worst on that team. So they're not going to swap out Omega with that drop combo. They can swap, but they're not going to. So yes, he's safe to Beast Special Beam Cannon there, but in the same movement, I would say, he's always going to be thrown away nonetheless, because he's the worst on your team. So yes, but no. I mean, I feel like they go hand in hand. Let me hear this though. Again, I don't have him here.
Actually has been able to withstand a lot.
And there's no purples to be fair, so I guess this makes sense.
Overbearing power creep we've seen since he's come out. He's definitely one of the older characters on here, if not potentially the oldest character on here. No, he's definitely not the oldest, but he's one of the oldest for sure. Yeah, I think he's second oldest character on here.
Ain't no way.
Which is insane because he came out in July, which is 5 months ago.
Is Ultan going to make this tier list?
In July. So,
Ultan?
That right there will tell you how ridiculous power creep has been.
Okay.
But I feel like especially against Beast Gohan, the one tool this character has that not a lot of other characters have access to is uncancelable special cover change nullification. When he activates his unique gauge, he gets uncancelable.
So you can rush through Beast just whenever.
Right here, applies buff effect, nullifies enemy special actions after when changing cover for 10 counts, cannot be canceled. So what that allows this character to do is you could actually, if you're going up against a Beast Gohan team where the opponent has no second life mechanics like endurance, comeback,
rush Beast,
indestructible, you could freely Rising Rush with this character, assuming that Beast Gohan is not switched.
That is valuable.
When you rush, which could be pretty good. I mean, there's not really going to be a lot of teams, I don't think, where Beast Gohan's not being ran with another endurance character, but
that's also true.
Potentially can catch the opponent off guard with a Rising Rush if they don't know how this character works. So that's a pretty interesting thing about this character. One other thing that makes this guy pretty useful against Beast Gohan is on the defensive end. This guy has Indestructible, which of course Beast Gohan's special move cannon cannot penetrate through. Only Indestructible and Comeback. Technically Revival would fall in there as well, but there are no relevant Revival characters right now. So Comeback and Indestructible are like the two big mechanics right now that will allow you to essentially, I guess
I understand the value. I understand what he's going for here. Again, I don't agree with Omega Shenron making it, but I understand the thought process behind it. So we'll just go to 7/8. I think he just implied Ulton makes this list, and that's what I'm really, really, really concerned about. And I'm probably assuming he's going to be right here.
Move on to the next spot. All right, so spots 7 and 8 on the list.
Is Ultra Gohan older? Maybe it's Ultra Gohan. Also, Ultra Gohan. Wait, whoa, Super Saiyan 3 is this low? I disagree with these placements, honestly, pretty heavily. I understand there's no purples, but that doesn't mean every green is some god, in my opinion. All right. Let's hear it.
Are going to be a shared spot between Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and Transforming Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Okay.
So Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is easily the oldest character on here. Omega was
the
the second
Ulton was
oldest.
going to make it. I was like,
back. I believe this guy released at the end of February, I believe. Yeah. So this guy is far and away the oldest character on here. This guy has seen a very big resurgence with the release of Ultra Beast. They pair up extremely well with each other.
Sure.
Of course, Beast does have the buff removal from standby when the enemy goes for a rush, when the enemy goes for an ultimate.
Endurance.
So the biggest issue with this Gohan that we saw sort of him falling off a little bit when the anniversary dropped, right? So this Gohan was sort of contending for, top 1, 2, 3, somewhere in there. Right up until the anniversary dropped. He was right there.
During part 2, he was top 2.
And stuff like that.
And
the anniversary happened, and then we started getting these just really bad characters that matched up really well against Gohan. Even characters like Fusing Super Vegeta, who would just rush, and well, there's how much you could do there. I mean,
correct.
For part 1, I guess Gohan was still kind of decent, right? Because really it was just the rising rush from Super Vegeta. Then we got Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and it became a little bit harder to run this
part
character.
2, he was still.
And then we saw a bunch of other releases, just sort of like from the end of the anniversary, that weren't super favorable for this character, and he kind of just fell off from that point. He was always sort of like hovering around like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there. But he never really was at this level, like 7, 8. And I feel like with the release of Beast Gohan, just the fact that you can, number one, give Beast Gohan armor break is just insane. Obviously, you don't want to go for armor break too often, like towards the middle portion of the fight, because you can just get rising rushed on him. But it is a very, very helpful thing.
I agree.
And just to pair up with Beast Gohan in the way that Beast Gohan is able to remove buffs from even just being on standby means that this character cannot be sniped. By characters like Ultra Majin Vegeta.
Great.
This character cannot be ultimated and killed by anybody. This character not be rising rushed and killed by anybody that removes endurance and stuff like that. So you go for an...
I know he's saying they can't be sniped by big moves. I just want to point out that the character right next to this character can snipe him out. Let's say that gauge is gone because you're comboing so long. They're not going to swap because he's going to Ultra Gohan. Let's say you run Gotenks, Ultra Gohan, Beast. All right? This is going to be a worse character on your team. Let's say that Ultra Gohan's gauge is gone. Your Gotenks, he took a little bit of damage. Your Beast took a little bit of damage. Typical thing that happened in a match. This Ultra Gohan's getting thrown away because Super Saiyan 3 Goku's just going to go through endurance. He's going to have subchem manipulation with the green card if you need that, and then he just can spam strikes and blast. Because again, this Gohan's gauge, while it can be there, people play in a much more idle setting, so that gauge sometimes it's not even active. And it's like, this is going to be the worst character on that team, so you might even sack him off first. I'm just saying, there is potential to kill him. Maybe it's not the most potent as it's been, but definitely is.
Armor break, a quick attack into
and Super Saiyan 3 has that argument for every endurance character, which is very, very strong.
What does your opponent do? You literally have to vanish.
Yep.
There's nothing you can do unless you have like a blue card that nullifies blast cards, which is very uncommon right now. But
who even has one?
There are really no...
I'm sure someone does.
Annoying purples that exist right now.
Correct.
Tamagami number 3 is like the only purple you really see right now. Ultimate Gohan you see a little bit, but even against Ultimate Gohan, you now have a super strong yellow character to come in and just like soak up all the damage. On the defensive end, Tamagami number 3 is really like the only super annoying purple that exists right now for this guy. But I personally, since Beast has dropped, I almost have never encountered him. Like maybe like once since Beast dropped, I've fought him. So it's not really super common to fight like any purples.
I mean, that doesn't
and this guy, you guys know how
here.
ridiculous his toolkit is. It's been this way since he's dropped. He has a counter blue. He has an AoE green. He has the counter gauge. And we'll talk about Vegito Blue in a little bit, but I definitely think Vegito Blue is also heavily crippled by the release of Beast, so that also does help this character a lot. So overall, I definitely think this guy has seen a almost like doubling in value level of resurgence since Beast has dropped.
So it's not like I fully like shocked, because I understand the concept of, yes, the two hybrids that are both tedious. Well, I guess Ultra Beast is much less tedious, but two hybrids that can be tedious with a snipe potential move and the annoyance of Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I understand why he could be higher, but this is my gripe with this Gohan, and it's not my gripe with this placement. It's my gripe with this Gohan. This is a mixed stat character. Both Ultra Gohans are mixed stats. They're even stats. But this Gohan has, from what I remember, almost no strike-based equips, and then Ultra Beast really wants a strike setup because he has cup pen stacking per strike he's doing. So that's why I run into a dilemma where, okay, so why not just run a character that's going to spawn me a couple cards, whether it be Vegito or Super Saiyan Goku. Those characters are spawning much more cards. They're going to be able to combo extend better. And in a vacuum, I feel they're doing more. While Gohan can be tedious and make things kind of just painful for your opponent here, I don't feel as though what he's doing in a full match is impactful enough. Like, this will not, I guess he will be your last man standing, but I don't think this is the character to win it all type of thing. Like, yes, when Ultimates were better, and during 6th standing, when Ultimates were only starting to get nerfed and kind of just be worse off than they were, okay, cool, yeah, I get it, why he's like the guy to make a comeback still. But now, how things go, I could even understand it being top 10, but seeing him right next to Super Saiyan Goku just kind of leaves like a sour taste in my mouth. Like, I want to listen to what he has to say Super Saiyan Goku, but about Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, I get it. Color synergy, I get that they're supposed to work in tandem. I understand the arm break. I understand all these things. I ran the duo. But I also remember using the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and he was double Zenkai buffed on said duo, and that damage was not good enough. He was double Zenkai buffed. Beast was not Zenkai buffed. I get the age discrepancy between the both, but that damage just was not enough to, warrant the usage of this character. It wasn't. I thought it was okay, but a lot of times that damage just... Why am I not attacking with Beast? This character needs you to do cards to get better. Why would I not attack with Beast? Now, I could say, yeah, Beast isn't going to be in 24/7, but then I have Gotenks, let's say, as that third. Why would I not attack with Gotenks to get Cup Pen for the team to make the entire team do better? Who's also immune to the card cost up that could proc via Vegito or Beast Gohan. I don't feel a necessity for this character to be attacking a lot of the time, despite him having his annoyance of gauge, which could be valuable enough. Again, I could understand top 10 because of said gauge and the color synergy that he has, and there's no purples. I understand the entire premise, but I don't follow through that his damage in its own self is enough to warrant here 8. I'd rather see Omega Shenron 8 than I'd rather see Super Saiyan 2 Gohan 8. I just don't think that damage is good enough. I ran him double Zenkai buffed. I used it. I don't know what else to say about that. It was double Z Trunks and then, buff Z Trunks. And that was it. It was hybrids, as good equips you could do for him. Double Period, I think it was. And it just, I don't think it was good enough. That's just where I'm at. I'm not going to stick on this too much because I don't think it's that important. Again, 8 through 10 or 7 through 10, whatever. I guess this tier list is 8 through 10 because Super Saiyan Goku I have a gripe with. But 8 through 10, it's a whatever. I'm just shocked this Gohan made it this high in that area.
Just his partnership with him and
what they both
but
Goku.
I do think Ultra Gohan definitely pair up really well with Maj and Vegeta. I feel like they're designed to work with each other really well. This guy plus Ultra Maj and Vegeta. The one thing this character does really well against Beast is he's actually immune to the arts cost debuffs stacking. So this guy can pretty freely damage Beast.
Yep.
This guy is stacking HP restoration debuffs on Beast Gohan as well, which heavily cripples his ability to sustain himself on the defensive end. The only downside to this character is, of course, I feel like the most value you get from his endurance nullification, which is really where most of the value of the character, I think, comes from a lot of times.
Nope. I 1000% disagree with that. The endurance null, I get it. It is very valuable. But right now, how Beast is every game, if not Vegito, but Beast, either or, they're very common, both of them. That right now, what the most valuable thing in his kit, easily the immunity to attribute downgrades. Easily. It can't not be. Like, yes, I understand you can endurance null, MV, Gotenks, and Dooogote, and whoever else, right? Because Dooogote, that's endurance on Rush. I understand you can do that. But that card cost up with how frequent Beast is running, 1000%, him being immune to that, that's his best like facet right now. The Health Store debuff is kind of tied with the endurance null. It's 1000% not the endurance null. It's the card cost immunity up. If he didn't have that, I would understand why he's here. But because he does have that, to me, he's just better than Vegito right now. I thought about it. After making my tier list, I used Diamond Goku with Super Saiyan Goku. 7-star Super Saiyan Goku. Again, this is all experience-based, all tier list star. And I'll talk about my own experience here. 7-star Super Saiyan Goku was sealing my showcase of my 14-star Diamond Goku. He just was. He was just outright doing everything. There was no need for me to use Diamond Goku. And Diamond Goku's going to be high here. And I think Diamond Goku's better. But I'm just putting out there that this unit, that is number 7 here, was stealing everything. Half the stars, half the Zenkai buffs, not even prioritized for the video, he still took over the entire video. Super Saiyan Goku, I'm flat out just putting there now, the most underrated Legends Fest unit right now. Premium or not, doesn't matter. I mean, fucking 1%, Jesus Christ, some of these. But 100% the most underrated 24 Legends Fest unit. 100%. He wasn't that, but now he is that. He was just Vegito light. Now he has assets that are better than Vegito. And those assets superbly boost his rating to me. Like, I would have it where Super Saiyan Goku is 5 and Vegito 6. If I could redo my tier list, 100% I'd have that. He stole a video where Daima Goku is meant to clobber. And Daima did his job, but Super Saiyan 3 did even, like, as well as a job. And it wasn't even on purpose. He was just doing it because he's that, like, good right here in this meta.
Nullified when Beast is on the team because you go for a rush in this guy to, like, you know, against someone like Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks.
Yeah, but you're not going to rush with Super Saiyan Goku. You're meant to
someone like
combo spam with
Gohan,
strike,
you're not going to be able to kill just due to Beast removing
I don't think that matters.
Nullification when he rushes, even
just spam
being on
cards.
standby. So that definitely is a big hit, I think, to this Goku. But overall, I think he's still pretty good. Same argument I would make, I think, essentially back before Ultra Beast Gohan dropped, and it's hard for me to really rate this character because you're just running a worse version of Vegito Blue most of the time. Although I think there's probably less of an argument for that now because I think Vegito Blue is not nearly as good as he was before Beast dropped. Again, we'll talk.
The main facet of both Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Vegito is one thing and one thing only. They want to combo long. Right now, how this game is with Beast being as common as he is every singular match, if not 99% of matches, and I'm sure you agree, Beast is running around a lot. Who can do that better? If their main asset is combo long, that is their main asset. And there's only one auto gauge, at least I don't run into Ultra Gohan, this Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I don't run into him. There's only one auto gauge being Majin Vegeta. In my mind, one auto gauge does not warrant Vegito being higher right now. Because Goku against all the other characters is comboing longer. The job of who's comboing longer, and Hellstar was very nice, comboing longer, Goku does it better. Right now, Goku does it better. So right now, Goku would be better. That's how I see it. Let's move to number 6, though. I would have that placement 8 through 7. Not something I agree with basically at all, though. That's how I see that.
All right, number 6 is going to be Ultra.
Speaking of not agree, this is the opposite. I do agree. Turles number 6. Did I have Turles number 6? No, Turles was number 6, right? It was Beast, MV, I'm just naming them. Beast, MV, Daima, Gotenks. Wait, Beast, MV, Daima, Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3, Vegito. So Turles was 7 for me. Okay. Yeah, 6, 7. I'm not... Again, this is Ultra Gohan kind of curveball here. Obviously, I'm referring to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Kind of just throws me for a loop. I get why Turles is here, 7, 6. I'm not going to go some crazy about it. But Super Saiyan 2 Goku, like, I have him 5, and I think there's a gap between this, 8 8 to like 5 thing, and he's tied 8/7. I have a gripe with that. But Turles, no, one placement. Okay, cool. I mean, it's arguing semantics at that point, and I just don't think that's even needed here. So, number 5, I don't even know who to assume. I'm going to assume Vegito.
Move on to number 5. All right, so coming in at number 5, we are going to...
Yet again, I would have Vegito lower. Obviously, I'd have Super Saiyan 3 above him, so there's kind of a gap there between my take to his take, so that exists. But I did have Vegito 5, that's the thing. This was prior to me using Super Saiyan 3 Goku when I did. So I guess initially I'd agree, but then I changed my opinion after using Super Saiyan 3 more. So 5 is where most people are going to have him. I understand the thinking behind all that. I don't fully agree with it right now. Again, I just see more in Super Saiyan Goku right now than Vegito as of the current state. If card cost up kind of just falls off and, that's a thing, then yes, Vegito, yes, goes up. If more auto gauges appear, then yes, Vegito's higher. Yes. Very easy ways to distinguish why he'd be higher or not. But right now, no, I don't. Every time I fight a Vegito, what happens is they do half the cards that they would have done if Beast wasn't out, and I think that just hurts him a lot. Super Saiyan 3 Goku gives me much more trouble than Vegito, but neither gives me like some crazy amount of fucking, oh no, like I'm screwed. So that's just where I have it. But I would say between the two, because that's the comparison you have to make, Super Saiyan 3 is just, to me, he's just the superior right now. Again, that'll change, meta dependent, but that's where I see it. So I can understand this. Nothing crazy about it. This is where I had him initially. So let's go to number 4 here because this video is quite long already.
To number 4. Okay, number 4 is going to be LF Super Saiyan Daima.
Really? I'm kind of shocked by that. It's not Gotenks. It's Daima below Gotenks. So it's going to be Gotenks and then the 2 Ultras, obviously. Daima number 4. Let me hear this, because I had 2, 3, 4 all kind of interchangeable, which I still agree with. But I would say, for me, I had Daima 3 in that 2, 3, 4. Again, you could interchange them. I could understand everything going on there if you were to interchange 2, 3, 4. But, okay, well, let me hear this one here.
Did I have him at number 4 on the last list? I think I might have. He was number 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, he really hasn't changed much. He theoretically does have a good matchup against Beast Gohan. It is maybe a little bit harder to snipe and kill Beast Gohan with this character than you would think. Beast is type neutral.
Funny enough, I actually disagree with that. That's exactly why. Beast Gohan is 10 counts defense neutral on entry, and how I feel with this is you thread the needle. What I mean by that is you're going to get Diamond Strike cards, right? You get his strike cards, you get his gauge. If they're defense neutral, you're most likely going to have a sequence where you're not going to do 50% of his health. So your card's not going to be destroyed, your hand's not going to be 10 billion cost. You can get those 3 strike cards off. If you have 100 key, you get a green card, you get more key. You get all those 3 strike cards off. If you could thread the needle, and I've been able to do this a little bit here, where Daima is having that beast at like 55% to like 60%, then you do the green card, blue card, maybe that defense neutral will run out, for one. And then as well as, if let's say you even get a lucky hand where you have 2 green cards fast, because that really makes an impact, you could, in some spots, I'm not going to say it's consistent, I'd say like a good 10 to 15% of the time, but you could get it where Daima just does snipe Beast very fast. Like, if there's any character that could just snipe a character right now that's like impeccably fast, it's Beast on strikes, and then it's Daima on his, lock-in situation there. It is all luck dependent, don't get me wrong, but I do think that situation does coexist because the defense neutral of Beast. It's kind of like a UG4 thing, right? Where UG4, you would hope to not proc his 50%, so you could just snipe him without any gauge procking. It's a similar vibe to this, where you don't proc the 50% of Beast Gohan, but you get that snipe out before it procs ever, and he just obliterated. And there's nothing he can do because he's locked in. So I do think you could Dread Needle with Daima, and that's actually why I'd rate him a little higher, because you can do that. Again, it's not fully consistent, but it does exist.
On entry. Beast is lowering blue
destroying
card
blues
power
is-
by 40%, I believe is what
I
it
don't
is on
think
entry.
that's enough
So,
to warrant it. Diamond just hits
You
that
definitely
hard.
could do it. You could lock him in with this character and kill him with a blue card. It's just not as free and easy as you would expect.
Agreed. I just think it coexists, though.
This character is not a character designed to do long combos, which helps him in the Beast matchup because he just locks in and kills with blue cards.
Yep.
This character just does like insane damage with every card.
Yep.
Like
Well,
again, he's not like
not blast. Not blast.
he's
cards.
the opposite of what we're about to talk about with Gotenks and the number 3 spoiler. Gotenks number 3. Gotenks is a character that thrives off of doing long combos. He doesn't really do explosive damage with like one card.
He doesn't do
whereas this
explosive damage
character
at all, to be
does
honest.
do
I mean,
very
once you get the
explosive
cup pen.
damage with like one card, which is the way you get around the cost debuff stacking that Beast has.
Yep.
I guess you could kind of talk about the fact that maybe this
Pressure
character's partnership with Tamagami number
Not
3 was
pressure
hurt a little
held,
bit by
man.
Beast coming out, but you can really throw this guy on just like any Sun Family Saiyan team.
Correct.
I guess one thing to talk about is like him as a partner with Beast is a little bit strange. In that
I would
they
say that.
both are doing the same thing with the buff removal.
Even more so
though-
than that, they're both selfish. Diamond needs to do stuff to like be his best, and it's not hard stuff to do. Just use the character, you'll get him to peak damage. But Beast, I mean, to get an optimized Beast, you're strike. So, yes, especially in canon, you don't have to do anything to get it. That's fair, but both are a little bit selfish. I don't know if that partnership is perfect. It's a little like a hazy spot. Like early game, like Super Saiyan 2 Goku to Super Saiyan 3 Goku with Daima, it's a bit off because like both are selfish. You need to get both going. But once Super Saiyan 3 is going, you don't got to use him until you need to, for an actual setting. Then Daima, you have to use him to prioritize him. I think with Beast and Daima, it's a bit lenient on that. But I do think they are quite a bit selfish. To run them together is not the perfect thing. It's okay. It's just you want to run non-selfish characters with selfish characters. Vegeto's selfish. Well, guess what? Who was running with Vegeto? Maj Vegeta. What does Maj Vegeta have to do to get his best damage? Nothing. Literally nothing. I mean, get a green card, sure, but like you don't need that. It's like 20% more damage. And that's why you'd run them together, because they were one selfish, one selfless. It's great. Daima with like some, ramp-up units. Well, he's a ramp-up unit itself, and it's just hard to kind of make them both optimize in a setting like that.
Goku and Beast are removing buff effects from the enemy when they use a Rising Rush from
use
standby.
endurance, yeah.
So what ends up happening is they both end up using the same mechanic. So essentially one is wasted almost. So there's a little bit of a weird interaction there, but I don't really think anything too bad comes from that. This Goku is just like a really solid inclusion on whatever team. If you're not pairing him up with Tamagami number 3, there definitely are instances where he can be really exposed defensively. Beast Gohan does go type neutral on his main ability.
I agree.
If Beast just uses his main and goes for the ult, and you have no one else really to switch to,
He's
this
very
guy's gonna
squishy.
die, most likely, because this
very
guy is not
squishy.
removing buff effects when the enemy uses an ultimate. That's what Tamagami number 3 is supposed to be there for. So Beast Gohan's type neutral will not be removed, and this guy will most likely just get destroyed by Beast's ultimate.
Gotta be 100% transparent here. It does not matter. This unit is squishy as shit. I just remember this point blank period. I used my Beast, no Zenkai buff. He's 14 stars, yes. But I fought Daima Goku that I believe was Zenkai buff, if not at least half by Kakarot. 9-star Daima Goku, Beast, nothing. Literally nothing. I just do 2 strikes to that Daima Goku that is 9 stars. He took 60% health from my Beast. No Zenkai buff, nothing on my Beast. He took 60% health. He had 40% left. Yeah, he could heal a lot, don't get me wrong. He took 60% health. If they didn't swap, which clearly swapping when you're a red and I'm a yellow is terrible, because you don't have another red most likely. If they didn't swap though, Mans is dead within 4 strikes. That's how hard Beast can hit. It's ridiculous. It's just you don't always get 4 strike cards. You're just not always that lucky. But Daima, I'm actually just going to skip to number 2 here because Gotenks, I completely understand. Again, I had them interchangeable where I had it where Daima's better, and I still do have it where Daima's better. I don't feel like I'm going to be persuaded to thinking different, and there's not even any intention of that here. It's just, I don't think Gotenks is better off. Though he has better teams, I think what Daima does is a better potency for the current meta. But yeah, we're just going to go number 2 because Gotenks, I understand why he's number 3. I have him in a similar mold, 2, 3, 4. Had them all interchangeable. But let's go to number 2 because maybe it is Beast. Maybe it is MV. Who knows? Let's find out.
Number 2. Alrighty, so coming in at number 2 is
he
going
has
to
Beast
be
number 1. Okay, sure. Majin. So I'm more curious about what he has to say about Beast than he does about Majin Vegeta. All right, because there's not going to be anything that's like, oh yeah, Majin Vegeta goes down because of this. It's just because Beast is doing XYZ is why he went up.
Majin Vegeta.
Ooh.
I'll just start off by saying I don't think there is some massive canyon gap between this guy and Beast Gohan, who obviously is
if I were to put Beast number 1, I would have them 1/2.
So if you have this guy over
like
Beast or 7, whatever it is, maybe a shared spot, I don't really think that's, I'm fine with that. Sure, whatever.
Same.
To me, I wouldn't have them shared. I think to me it's pretty clear Beast is the more influential character right now in the meta. But Majin Vegeta, of course, is just still an absurd unit. I think when it comes down to it, the main reason why I have them separated here is just because Beast makes it significantly harder for this guy to do what he wants to do, which is just to snipe characters and end matches as fast as possible. This character...
I want to talk on that because I actually think that's a great talking point. So I half agree. Listen, Majin in my eyes is a pretty simplistic thing where I compare to snipage potential. And I've actually gone through and just thought about this a lot because people like to debate who's number 1. And I personally think it's Majin. I don't agree with this. That's okay. I think if you're going to have it be a situation of one or the other, it's not such a, again, like you said, canyon gap to where it is. I thought initially it was initial usage of Beast. Yeah. Because he doesn't have that many absurdly broken mechanics. He has some good and really good mechanics, but nothing broken like MV. But the snipe potential. So yes, there is situations where MV snipe is, I guess you could say, worse off. But this is how I see it. MV, every singular entry, is going to get 2 free strike cards because he has a sub-chem manipulation up. So there's snipe potential in that merit in its own, right? Someone's low health, they didn't pre-swap before your MV came in, boom, you killed them. There's that just coexists in the game. That's always going to coexist. As well as the blue card being the lock-in. That's going to do a lot of damage with health store debuffing. Very frugal there. And then the last one that is the most important thing is you still get to choose your target. Now, Beast has this as well with the Special Beam Cannon. The thing that I debate here is that Beast Special Beam Cannon takes a lot longer. You will always get Majin Vegeta's main to snipe somebody before Special Beam Cannon. It's physically impossible to get Special Beam Cannon first. By the way, just run them together. You have 2 free lock-in snipes. Enjoy your time. It's toxic. I don't recommend it, but you can't do that. But while MV is not always having his freest damage to be as high as Beast, I still think he can snipe. I'm looking at characters and I'm thinking, okay, who else is on this list? Who can I snipe? MV, if it's not Beast, which he doesn't have to snipe Beast, there's other characters in the match, right? You're fighting a team. Let's say MV does a green card. MV has a gauge. Okay, now he's neutral. MV does a strike. Then he does a couple cards. Pop Gotenks Endurance. Pop Goku to a decent bit of health where it's a lot lower. And then boom, you pop that ultimate. He's locked in. You kill Goku. Boom, you can kill Gotenks. That still coexists. And from my perspective of PvP, the first person to get a kill in a match most likely is winning the match. It's just so difficult with what units do nowadays to get a comeback with less units. Even with units that have this comeback potential of Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, most units don't even have that, by the way. They're just meant to be good the entire game, not just best at late game to last man standing. So when I see Majin Vegeta has an earlier snipe potential, I think that's why I'd have him above. Yeah, the auto gauge, everything else, sure. But that in its own, Beast does it. Beast also snipes. Do not get me wrong. But Majin Vegeta gets it faster. And while it is, I guess, a little worse to do, because he can't snipe Beast, right? He can't. The gauge there could, it would thwart your plans. But yet again, I do need to point out this is a 3v3 game. So if I can't snipe Beast, that's okay. I don't need to snipe Beast. If I snipe your Gotenks or your Ultra Gohan because I pop their endurance by doing normal cards, I pop your Goku, your Super Saiyan 2 3 Goku, your Vegito, I get them to a good HP threshold where I'm like, I enter, do 2 strikes, do an ultimate, you have no play. Well, guess what? Majin Vegeta's value of his job, which is to snipe and just stop combos from extending for 9 years, that's being done. Yet again, I don't think he's a good matchup against Beast. I think Beast has a better matchup against Majin Vegeta, especially in a defensive mechanism setting. I would actually say it's more even than not, but Beast has a little edge there because Special Beam Cannon, do a strike, Special Beam Cannon, boom, kill. Majin Vegeta doesn't have that same prowess to kill Beast. But yet again, I talk about the entire match. This is not a 1v1 Beast versus MV every situation. Matter of fact, most times, Beast isn't facing MV, right? I would say for a lot of the time, you're just kind of having Beast do whatever he wants, Majid doing whatever he wants, and then Beast in the background, Majid is attacking, and then MV's in the background while Beast is attacking. Maybe come in, stop a combo sometimes with the gauge, but they usually don't even see each other that often. So I don't. It's not like I don't see the value in the matchup between MV to Beast, because I get it why Beast has value there, but I'm just thinking the broad full match, MV still does his job. While it is a little worse to do, because you had to just pop some endurances prior, you have to do things, you have to get a little bit more prior, you have to play the game a little bit more. Oh no, spoilers, that's scary for people. But I don't think that makes him worse. I think we have one character, and he went down for a lot of people. Vegito, that's stopping the auto gauge, and that auto gauge, it's not like it became bad. I feel like people actually don't really acknowledge it exists now because, oh, Beast! But that auto gauge that locks you in, Hellstar debuff, okay, now you're hurting on health, now you're at 50% health, now I do a strike card, now I do an ultimate. What do you do? What do you do there? Strike card, ultimate, your health went to like 40%, now I do a strike card, you went down 50% more, I do an ultimate. What do? You can't. You have no play. You are locked in, you are dead, and that's a Majid thing. And he can do that consistently every single match. He consistently kill, snipe, lock in. That does not change. I went on a whole tangent here. But he was going to talk about, the lock-in stuff. This is my feelings on it.
Previously to Beast Gohan dropping,
you would
typically have long combo setups where you have like Vegito Blue paired with Majin Vegeta, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or whatever the situation was, and you would just be fishing for a situation for where this guy could come in and either kill via just like 2 quick strike cards, or kill via his main ability snipe.
Yep.
Right. That was essentially how the game worked until Beast Gohan dropped.
And that still exists.
Beast Gohan has dropped, and you can't really do that anymore. There's no situation where you're just comboing for like 100 billion counts.
Yeah, but that's not what you're needing to do. He just said strike, snipe there, strike, ult. You don't need to do that infinite combo for Majid to have value. Like, yeah, cool, you can, I guess. You can't do it as much anymore. Well, to be fair, you brought him 2% to Goku, you still can infinite combo, but still, you don't have to do that infinite combo loop. Again, this snipe potential is not Gotenks. That's it. Gotenks and Beast. Those are the only 2 characters that MV can't snipe. Really. I mean, consistently. Ultra Gohan he can snipe. Ultra Gohan wouldn't have top 10, but Ultra Gohan he can snipe. It's not hard to do. It's more tedious, but it's not hard to do. That's 3 characters maximum. I don't run into Ultra Gohan. Gotenks, I would say he's like 20 to 15% of my matches. Beast, yeah, don't get me wrong, I run into Beast, but I think just saying that the snipe potential of MV is not there, it's like, how could it not be there? If Daima Goku could do it, why can't MV do it? That's my argument there. And I guess you could say it's on blue card, but that doesn't. It's a lock-in. It doesn't matter.
Because you just can't. Like, the only character that gets around the arts cost increase is Gotenks, and Gotenks can't do that by himself.
Super Saiyan Goku also does.
The way it used to work is you would pair up a lot of these combo beast characters with each other. It would be like Majin Vegeta Gotenks and Vegito Blue. It would be Gotenks, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Vegito Blue. It would be, some combination of those 4 units, essentially, because the characters that really just thrive off of combos is what you would use to essentially set up Majin Vegeta's snipe ultimate. It's not really as common to do anymore because it's just very hard to do now with the cost increase stacking that Beast has. And Beast also does prevent Majin Vegeta from just straight up killing characters with his ultimate because of the buff removal that he can have on standby. So again, Majin Vegeta goes for an ultimate to try and kill Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
2 characters.
It's not going to kill him. Same thing with like Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. It's not going to kill him. Daima Goku, who has endurance, not going to kill him either.
What?
So
Daima Goku doesn't have endurance till rush, so that's just inaccurate. I've sniped Daima Goku with MV. He doesn't have endurance till rush, so he will kill Daima Goku.
It becomes a lot tougher for this character to really do his job the way that he's been accustomed to.
Tougher is such a bad word for it.
2.5 months.
It just is inaccurate, that word. It's,
or I guess just 2 months.
Coexists.
Right? He's been out for 2 months.
I don't think it's tough at all.
And then I guess the other thing to mention,
dude.
which again, I'll just throwing it out there, this guy is not any better off against the special beam cannon than any other character.
Yep, that's correct. I agree.
He just dies. Nice gauge, man. Let me just special beam cannon you, and you're dead. That's usually how it goes. Again, same thing. Same way it happens to every other character in the game. But
just put out there, if you could say, "Hey, man, your special beam cannon to death." Hey, man, you're locked in a pseudo lock or a guarantee lock. You're just dead. They're not the same boat, and one's faster to get. I mean, I don't know. We'll go to Beast here. He's about to wrap up the MV stuff here, so I just think this point, rather, not even multiple points, just this point here, where he can't snipe out is, I think the wording he's using is a bit silly, because to say it's like implied that it's like essentially like just you're not gonna get that shit. You're gonna get his snipe outs once a match. Every match you're gonna get a snipe out with MV. If you don't, I just think you're not playing the character. I just think you're using MV as everyone else does, and you're just idle. And you're like, oh, I'll do nothing. And even then, it'd probably be easier because you have the green cards to give you a free combo, which that alone is very valuable. I don't know. Beast number 1, yes.
All right, so coming in at number 1 is going to be Ultra Beast Gohan, the newest addition to the game, the pinnacle of Legends Fest 2024, the final release to cap everything off. This guy is really insane. I don't really know. Where do we want to start here? So I think for me, what I've noticed from this character, and this is not something that you're really going to notice actively, this is more of something that you're going to notice passively, more of an intangible thing he's bringing to the table. And I think I even talked about this a little bit when I did my breakdown video with him, and it has to do with his counters to ultimates and rising rushes.
Yep.
So I think you're probably not going to see the counter that often.
I agree.
You're certainly not going to see it every single match. It's just not something you're going to see that common.
I understand the point's getting made. You're not going to see it, but it's coexisting. That's why you're not seeing it. It's like Goku Frieza. You're not going to see the rush, but you understand that it coexists his gauge, so they're not throwing the rush. They're not throwing the ultimates. That's the point that's going to be made here.
I think what I'll actually do is I'll actually compare this to just the simple cover change mechanic, special cover changes. How often do you actually see special cover changes apply?
You don't.
Right. I mean, every character that's worth anything has a special cover change, whether it's against a strike, whether it's against a blast, whether it's against both, limited times. Every character that releases, every premium character has a special cover change, but there are very few instances where you actually get to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because people play around cover changes. They're either playing around it by only attacking with characters when they have special cover change nullification active.
All right. So, not to cut off, but I understand the point of what he's going to make on Beast because I understand the points he made against MV. So, again, I don't agree with Beast number 1. I still think it's MV. Not too crazy of a margin. Initially, a lot of people were thinking it was a crazy margin, but now I would say, like, I can't agree if someone puts a number 1, but I do understand that there is arguments to be made that, yes, he's very close to it. I don't agree that he is number 1, but I think there's arguments that can be made to where he could be competing, and maybe next buff, he's there. Maybe the next buff, he's there. Maybe the next red, MV's gone, and the Beast is number 1, guaranteed. Right now, I don't think so. Majin number 2, Beast number 1. I just disagree with that. What was moving forward here? Gotenks, Daima. Sure, I had them interchangeable anyways, so no gripe there. I just think Daima's better for the potential of what we need right now in the meta, and I think he does that role better. Though Gotenks has more teams, I still think Daima Goku just is a little bit better. The Ultra Gohan thing, no, not even that. I mean, Vegito being 7 while Super Saiyan 3 is not even behind him. It's Turles, and then it's Vegito between Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Vegito, I think is a little bit wild, actually. I don't know if he forgot it here, but he said that Gotenks is the only one that's immune to it. But also during Super Saiyan 3, he said well, Goku's immune to the card cost up, so I don't know if he just forgot that when placing or something, but that's the strongest ability in Super Saiyan Goku right now. Super Saiyan Goku combos longer than Vegeta. They're both combo merchants. I just don't know how it's not even like close, because the whole gap in placement, I think, is crazy. Turles should definitely be below both green units. Turles, dude, there's no purple, so Turles is getting, bodied by them. Like, yes, he can body some reds. He can do well against reds. He could tank against them at least. But I don't know about that. There's some spots I agree with, though. Again, that 3-4. For a majority of this, I actually find myself disagreeing more than agreeing. And usually when I do these, I'm, like 60-70% in agreement, and I can comprehend things, and I still comprehend a few. The more here, I'm like a 40%. Again, this number 1, 2, obviously, but it really is that Super Saiyan Goku and Ultra Gohan. I could conceptualize Ultra Gohan top 10. Sure, I can do that. I'm not ignorant to what he can do, but I can't conceptualize him right next to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I can't conceptualize Turles better than Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I can't. I just don't see anything that's there to merit that. So I actually found myself, again, disagreeing with a lot more of this list than I usually would. And everyone's going to say, it's his opinion based off the playing, and so is mine. Every tier list is based off what you've played against, and then you try to compare kit for kit, what's going on here, there, and the other, through your matches with objectivity. You can't be fully objective. I'm trying to be as objective as I can by saying, well, the wording of saying MV can't snipe anymore is a bit harsh, right? That's trying to be objective, because MV can snipe still. So while you disagree or agree with me or him or whatever, there's a sequence that is just subjectivity, that he's subjective. This is his opinion. He has Beast 1. I don't think Beast is 1. He has Diamond Goku below Gotenks. I think Diamond Goku's above Gotenks. So I know people usually do like to, for lack of a better term, ride the biggest opinion, but I do not agree with most of this here. Not trying to be quirky or different. I always find myself disagreeing at least a tad bit with every tier list I look at, and there's no difference here. It's just a bit more than I usually would, which I'm not surprised by. Goresh very heavily would imply that, you see a YouTube title and it's like, yeah, he's number 1. Yeah, he's number 1. Like, that's the implication of every single title he's made of a Beast Gohan video. And I'm not surprised he rated him number 1 here. So I don't know. I just disagree with a lot of placements. It's not some crazy disagreement with most of them, but it really is that Super Saiyan 3 to VB thing. And not even that they're like Super Saiyan 3 is below. It's just there's a gap. Turles being in between those two, that doesn't sit right with me. Just doesn't. What do you guys think of my reaction to Goresh's top 10 tier list to end off 2024? And I'll see you guys in the next one.